Yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry I'm running a little bit late today. I'll explain in a minute, but I'm just absolutely exhausted. But I'm glad that I'm here. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. It is a little bit after, it's 3:03. It was like 3:02 a second ago, so it's not miserably bad, but it is pretty bad. Sorry about that. And Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020, here in New Vienna, Iowa. How is everybody doing today? Like I said, I'm tired. I decided today that it's the last week before the girls start school up again, and it'll be virtual school for them. So I thought I would take them back up for another hike. We went back to Pikes Peak, the place we went a couple of days ago, the state park up there. And we had a fantastic time because it was a weekday and most people are in school right now, so there weren't too many people there. So we did bring masks, but we didn't have to really wear them. It was nice. We had the place to ourselves. We saw so much wildlife. We saw like a family of deer eating lunch, and they were pretty chill. I mean, some of them were a little bit flighty about us being there, but for the most part, they hung out and ate very cautiously. So we get to watch some deer eat lunch. That was pretty cool. And my daughters were just like, you would think that they had just seen unicorns because of how amazed they were, but like, it's not something they get to see every day. So they were pretty excited, and we did a lot of hiking. But the baby, I think maybe the earlier hiking day caught up with her, because like today she was like, Daddy, I think I need you to carry me. So I had to carry her, especially because then she tripped and fell and like scraped her knee, because then she's like, Daddy, it's because you didn't carry me. So I had to carry her today. We came back. The girls didn't nap on the way there. They didn't nap on the way back. I am really sleepy, and I don't know why the girls aren't napping. Like, I'm so tired. But they're not. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We got Jay Page here. We got Not Really Hank Aaron, Mars Me, JC, Rain Runner, Mark Rennie. Awesome. All right. Mark Rennie said, rain without coffee today sure makes low heart rate and map training easier. Awesome. Very cool. Laney A, Chris Yao. Good to see you. Luis Becerra, Steve, Patrick Fung. Patrick Fung says, might have to say goodbye to the weekday streams now that he's working. He's a PE teacher. Oh, that's super cool. We'll try and pop by during the weekend when possible. Oh, well, that's a bummer. But, I mean, if anything, I hope that we don't see you for a long time. Or at least not till the weekends, because that means things are going well and you're able to continue working and doing your thing. So, all the best to you. Kevin Bickerton is here. What's going on, Kevin? Mark Chancoco, Luis Becerra, Chris McLean. Awesome. Shannon's here. Shannon says, I had such bad Fuzi FOMO because I heard yesterday's show was a blast. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I thought yesterday was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I definitely was like, I hope Amazon gives me more ads on Instagram. But the descriptions are getting very descriptive. So like they're actually describing stuff, so it's not as fun that way. But maybe we'll just do like guess it from the pictures. And maybe we'll do another round of that at some point. But I think I'll have to do some collecting. I think I got the good ones already. And his Dunbar's here. Rambling Dude is here. Says, can you believe it's September? I can't. I'm having a hard time with it. Today on the local news, they KCRG9 is what we watch here. And I forget, I don't know what time it is, but at a certain time it like clicks over from like the regular morning news to like more fun, upbeat morning news. And at that point they switch, and the weather person always does trivia to like, I think there's only one anchor in the mornings, and they give her trivia, and it is always just really uncomfortable, like just pretty much blatant flirting, and it's just really weird and awkward, and I love watching it. And today the trivia question was, I mean, it's a one-directional flirt too. Like the weather guy is trying to flirt with the woman on the desk, and it's just really kind of funny / sad. But the trivia question for today was, what is the current like UV equivalent, UV like light rating status? I don't know, equivalent to, and it was equivalent to like mid-April, so like September is kind of crazy. And so I took that, and it made me feel better for not putting on sunscreen today, because I forgot to put sunscreen on today. But yesterday was so cold, I was like, I hate the idea of like, I know it can happen, but being cold and getting sunburn at the same time just doesn't seem to go together. So whenever it's cooler, I just tend to put on the sunscreen less. All right. Let's see. Jody Runs is here, says, good day, everyone. Stevie76 says, my continued employment is confirmation that watching these live streams are not affecting my work performance. Yeah, I mean, that's positive feedback if I've ever seen it. So I think that, like, you should keep watching. If not, you should watch more. You know, maybe, like, watch it again later. It's funny. Rob Piccolino is coming in from rainy Rhode Island. Hope you're doing well out there. And Corey Allen says, I like to drink 4 cups of coffee and do some Bible reading before my run, and then another 2 cups after a post-run MRM, I don't know what that is, MRM protein and chia shake. I drink a lot of coffee even before my runs, and I think that's a lot of coffee. Wow. That is a lot. But good on you. I think if I drank 4 cups of coffee, I'd be pooping in the corn a lot, which I only had 1 cup of coffee today, and it didn't stop me from pooping in the corn. So, but with today, like, what was nice about it today is that, like, usually it's a euphemism that I'm pooping in the corn. I'm, like, by a cornfield, and I find kind of like a ditch, and I'll poop in the ditch is really what I'm really doing. But today, as I was like, I need to stop because I was trying to do a fartlek workout today, and after, like, the second rep, I'm like, this isn't going to work. I need to get rid of this. And I was like, oh, and the route I'm going to take, there's some running along the road, which is fairly busy. That's going to happen very soon if I don't take advantage. So I'm like, I gotta find a spot. So after, like, the rep is over, 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, I'm like, I gotta find a spot. I look over, and fortunately enough, there's corn, and then, like, 1 stalk of corn was missing, or maybe 2, and then more corn. So it was like there was a doorway had opened itself. It made itself apparent to me. And so I went in there, and I kind of was like, all right, now I've got some shelter. I don't know if that's really bad for the corn or not. It probably is. But I felt like I had my own little closet to poop in. So I did. I had to do that. I felt much better afterwards. Yeah, it happens. I can't help it. I even went to the bathroom twice this morning too. I don't know what to do. Mark Graney says he's got a French press here. Starbucks, Costco, grind every morning, black. All right, very cool. I had K-Cup this morning. I think it was my in-laws buy one of 3 kinds of K-Cups. They either buy, I think it's like Green Mountain brand Nantucket blend. They buy another one that's called Donut Shop, which has like a pink frost, like a pink glaze with sprinkles donut on the top, which looks really appetizing. But the coffee's, not what I would pick. And the third one they pick is sometimes they have Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups, because everyone around here loves Dunkin' Donuts. I love Dunkin' Donuts too, but, like, I don't love the coffee as much anymore. I like different kinds of coffee. I just have my own preferences. I don't say one is better than the other, but once in a while they'll have Starbucks, like Pike's Place, or just some sort of Starbucks K-Cup, and I kind of prefer those sometimes, but they're all, like, okay. But that's what I had this morning. And it wasn't like a different level of caffeine or anything. I'm trying to think, I think I ate a lot last night, so maybe I just had more volume to work through. Mr. Random says, the first live deer I saw was in London, Richmond Park, and it chased him. What? That's so funny. That's crazy. What did you do that it was chasing you, and how did you outrun a deer? I think that story needs more detail. Hey, it looks like we got Andy in the house here. What's going on, Andy? Good to see you. Andy has been running like a man possessed lately. It's crazy. Great work, man. I was thinking about you today because I was watching, Andy and I have had discussions about, like, my different training techniques, and he's of the opinion that, like, for a while, like when I ran the tunnel marathon, I wasn't really thinking too much about how I'm training. I was just running a lot of miles and doing a lot of stuff that was kind of quick. And And I think I was probably running somewhere near threshold for a lot of like doing like different fartleks and other kind of easier or less structured workouts that were like not quite that were kind of like a little maybe around marathon pace, maybe a little bit slower, but like stuff that was in that like upper tempo range. Stuff that like right now that I don't do a lot. But I read I forget what it's called, the book, but the book is about the Hummel Toads and Coach Bob Larson, Meb Keflezighi's coach. And his theory was he took all these like kind of like it was one of those like he took a ragtag bunch of kids that didn't know any better, that they shouldn't have been good at running, but they ended up being great. It was like one of those kinds of stories. And Bob Larson's approach was to like he felt like if he could get runners to run more frequently right at threshold pace or that like uncomfortably hard pace and stay there for as long as possible. Not as long as possible, but stay there for a long period of time, that it would be really good for them. And I think it ended up being really true. And then Coach Bob Viel also had a very similar idea, but he expanded on that by adding in altitude training to it as well. And then I've been getting fed and watching a lot of videos on YouTube about Coach what's his name? Tim Schwartz, Coach Tin Man. And he's been talking about critical velocity, which I think is all different ways of kind of approaching the same idea. And this all was happening as I was planning on running a fartlek today because I wanted to test out a new shoe. And so I was just thinking about you. That's a long way of saying but I was reminded of that. So good to see you. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Corian says, first day of homeschool and my wife got upset when I disappeared for an easy hour run due to the stress. Be ready. Yeah, I mean, we've done it before, and I am not that great at it, but, I need to be better at it, so I'm going to be better at it. The twist for me this year is not only will we had that before, too, with the baby being home, but now I feel like the baby, would normally be in, 4-year-old preschool, so I feel like I need to have some sort of, curriculum for her, too, although we don't really have one, so, it'll be really easy to let her just kind of play. And I think that for a 4-year-old, playing a lot of the day is great. But the temptation will be to let her watch iPad all day. And that's where I'm gonna have to do a lot of juggling between my daughter and then the baby. So that's where I'm really worried. Yeah. Kevin Bickerton said it rained in the UK just as Gooder sunglasses arrived today. Typical British weather. Hopefully we have a sunny day soon. I hope you do too. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Abdal23 says, do you have any TV series recommendations? I do not. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I mean, I think I do. I just don't intentionally watch a lot of TV. Mainly it's because I'm worried that as soon as I turn something on, the kids are going to show up. And then maybe it might not be age appropriate for them for me to watch something. And so I just never try to put anything on TV except for news. And then, or I'll put something, on that's a lakefront bargain hunt or, love it or list it. Those kinds of Hometown. What's it called? Hometown? Those different shows where they're doing home rehab, those are, kids can watch that. That's fine. Along that note though, here's something weird that's been happening. When we first got to my in-laws' house in July, I was obsessed with the channel GAC, Great American Country. And that channel has a show on it. It's about buying RVs. But it's like House Hunters, but with RVs. And so they look at 3 different RVs, they weigh the pros and cons, and they make a decision. There's a big reveal at the end, and then you get to see how much do they love this RV that they got. So I was loving that channel for some weird voyeuristic reason, because none of this channel applied to me. I have never said, let's go camping, in my life. I think I've gone camping with other people, and I think it's fun to do that. But I'm never going to be the one to say hey, I think we got a free weekend coming up in 3 weeks. Should we go camping? I've never said that. And so like there's shows about camping, there's shows about RVs, all sorts of stuff like that. And I was just watching it nonstop because also it's again kid friendly. But then for some reason, in like August, the channel disappeared from the lineup on my in-laws dish, and I didn't know what happened. It was just one. It was there one day and it was gone the next. But it came back like 2 days ago. So I don't know if it was just gone for the month of August, like it took a summer break or something. But it was gone and now it's back. And I haven't seen the RV show again yet. But right now, what's real big on that channel is like beachfront bargain hunt, which I just really like the syncope, or like the sound of that, like it rolls off the tongue. Beachfront bargain hunt, I like that, and I've been watching it like crazy. So I guess that's the show that I would recommend. It's a very long way of saying watch Beachfront Bargain Hunt if you get Great American Country. But I feel like all of these shows, there must be like a bucket somewhere that like if you are a small channel, you can license shows from this bucket and just play them. Because I feel like I see all the same shows on all the different channels. I mean, I know some of them are tied to certain networks because they're made that way, but sometimes I feel like all these other ones that are very generic or like derivative off like the House Hunters theme, I think that they're just kind of like out there. It's kind of like if I were to get like stock footage from like a video stock footage website. That's what I feel sometimes. Bert Lagas says, once your body has a habit and timing to poop under certain conditions, you're stuck with it. Well, that's the thing. I've been a morning runner for years now. But I will say, I guess, I did start running today about a half hour later than I've been for just scheduling reasons. So maybe that's what it was. Although if in a half hour, that would have put me like right in the middle of the workout. So like that wouldn't have been all that much better. Chris Dyke is here, says he's just in from an easy run, late one today. Awesome. Hope you had a good one. Stevie76 says he's eyeing the Mississippi Gulf Coast Marathon in December. It appears still on. Interesting. Someone messaged or someone wrote a comment on Strava, I think yesterday, saying that there's a marathon in Iowa, the Wabash Marathon in Iowa on September 12th, which is like 10 days from now. And asked if I was going to go, and I'm like, I don't think so. But then I was like, where is the Wabash Marathon? And I looked it up. It's south of Omaha, which is weird or Council Bluffs, I guess. Because I thought Omaha/Council Bluffs was like in the southwest corner. I thought it was like in the corner of the state. But there's a further south of that, and that's where Wabash is. So that's going to be far. That's like a 4-hour drive, I think, for me to get there. So I don't know if I'll go to that. But I also just think that I live with 5 other people right now, so I don't want to do that. Yeah. 087 says, there's a porta potty on the road a few blocks from my apartment. I will plan my route near it if uncertain. Yeah, by the Heritage Trail, there's only like 3 porta potties along the route, but I've the one that's at the beginning of the route I've used many times, and every time I've done any sort of time trial, I just need to use it. Yeah, I gave him Braden said I availed of a cornhole. I sure did. All right, I'm gonna scroll down because I'm like way behind on the comments. Sorry guys, because I've been rambling too much today. Shannon says, when I began upping my runs to 10 plus miles a day, I had to eat and drink coffee pre-run. Hence the stuff happens nearly every run. Yeah. Is it just the coffee, or was it the eating and the coffee and all that together? See, here's another thing that happened today was that, so we went up to Pikes Peak, which is about, I would say, 35 miles from here. It's about an hour, maybe 50-minute drive. And so we let the baby sleep in a little bit today, but at a certain point, like we woke her up and we're like, hurry up, eat something, and then pack up whatever you want to bring. She's a little bit of a pack rat, just like her mother was at the same age. And so everywhere she goes, she has to bring like handfuls of stuff. So like, I just kind of like indulge at this point, like pack what you're going to pack and then let's go. And then you can take a nap in the car on the way over there. And, but I was like, but make sure you use the potty before we leave. And so she did. But when we got there, like halfway through the walk, she started telling me that her tummy hurt. And I was like, oh, you're fine. You're fine. Because I thought maybe she was just stalling. Because she'll like, I think that when at her age, she doesn't know like I don't think she knows what fatigued feels like. I don't think she understands that, like being tired. And she's at the age where she will just lie through her teeth before she ever admits being tired. It's like a death before dishonor thing. Like she'll just never admit being tired. So I thought that's what it was. I was like, come on, keep pushing through. You're fine. And then like the second or third time she said it, I was like, oh, what if she has to poop? Like what? Like I'm like, oh, if someone ignored me, like when I had the situation this morning, like and said like, no, you're fine. Let's finish this run and then have an hour drive home. I would have been like, you're crazy. I'm gonna poop myself. So like we did end up using the bathroom at the park that was there, which was a little bit intimidating because like, I mean, for example, we didn't use the playground that was at this park because we're just not letting our kids use that kind of stuff due to virus concerns. And the park, the playground has like signs on it saying like it's highly recommended that you don't use this due to, you know, everything that's going on. So we'll use the bathroom. Fortunately, we were the only ones in there, and it felt relatively clean. It felt very clean, in fact. But it was just, it's not a situation I enjoyed being in. And I kind of wish she was old enough that I could have told her, like, go poop over there. But we had to use the bathroom. So, but I had much sympathy for her. I feel like I connected with my daughter today because of what happened to me this morning on my run and the feelings she was having in her belly when we were on our hike. I felt like that was probably some of the most connected we've ever been on like a, I don't want to say psychological, but on an empathic level. I like really empathize today. Like my life revolves around poop, I guess. That's what it is. Yeah, Fraggle Hooter says it's nice when kids get to the age that you don't need to take them to the bathroom. I did take her in there, so I did have to go in there with her. Also, that way I could like touch everything for her rather than her having to touch things to the extent possible. So that's what we tried. But yeah. So let's see. Martha was saying something about CIM. There's a date later this month, but if I hear anything soon, I'll let everyone know. Okay. Let's see. Viri asks, do you stretch? I don't really. I've been doing my leg mobility routine, I feel like pretty regularly, and I'm trying to just do it after every run. So even today after doing a fartlek, I still did like the leg strength and mobility routine. It's just like nothing with weights, just some squats, some lunges, some lateral lunges, reverse lunges, and then what are they called? Single leg deadlifts. So I've been doing that. Yeah, so that's what I do after the run. Before the run, I don't really do too much. I don't feel like it changes much. Since I train by heart rate, like part of that requires a really long warm up, like 10 minutes or longer of warming up before you do any workout. So I just use that as kind of like my stretching. Yeah. Trey Good says, ha ha ha, we are expecting our first child, and moments like that make me look forward to being a dad. You know, I really did enjoy I like hiking with the children. I really enjoy it quite a bit. It reminded me of a time not too long ago, I guess it would have been 3 years ago at this point, when we were in Asheville. I don't remember which Carolina Asheville is in, but that's a beautiful city. I love that place. It's great. It's got everything. It's got trails, hiking, great running. It's a beautiful city. And we were there. We were at like an outdoor like zoo / park kind of place, and it actually reminded me quite a bit of this place that we were at today. And that time I was, my daughter would have been like 5, I guess. And the baby was young enough. She was just about 1. And she was in like the baby carrier, the front loading one. I love that thing. And I remember at one point, my daughter got tired. So I was holding her on one side, and like I had to like shove the baby over in the baby carrier over a little bit further. And then we got to walk up a giant hill. And I was like, this is miserable. But like the kids like both kind of like hugged me like extra hard. And it was just really nice. And today, when the baby wasn't feeling good, when her tummy was hurting, like she got real snuggly when I was like holding her, and we were going up the hill, and that was like, that's a great moment. And so Trey, congratulations to you and your family expecting your first child. That's amazing, and there's going to be a lot of awesome moments like that. There's also they may or may not be related to poop. They probably will be, but don't be scared of that. It's okay. Yeah, Chinde says you do mobility sessions. I don't really call them mobility sessions. So like the exercises that I just rattled off, those are what I do. I like them because most of them are like single leg stuff, and I feel like that they help with some strength around the knee, like laterally and then in the forward direction, in the forward plane as well. I would like to do. I've been watching on Instagram. Like I've always wanted to get into yoga, but I don't like it. But I've been seeing on Instagram some people that do these like flow type of exercises where it's like kind of like yoga and kind of like weightless exercises, and I kind of like that, and I'd really like to go to a class of some sort that has that, where it's kind of like more just like, you go from like a weird, like a almost like not, what is it? I don't know. I can't even name the names of the poses, but you go into like, starts out in like a yoga pose, and then you're doing like some weird kind of push-up thing, and then you're doing like kind of like a pistol squat, and it's all like one weird like motion, and it's just like, whoa, that looks cool. But I like that because I feel like that is what my body wants to do, and I feel like I would enjoy that more, the fluidity of it, than I do yoga. I just think my mind is not quiet enough for yoga. I think that's probably why I don't enjoy it, and I think that's probably all the more reason why I should try to nail it. But like, I just don't want to. I just feel like there's a lot of uphill battle there. Maybe I can work into this flow stuff first, and then I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Daniel M says, I've been working crisscross applesauce for 2 weeks, waiting for my new office to get to my home. My knees are barking. Yeah, you're not getting more flexible though because of that. That's funny. All right, I saw something from J Mike Grammy. He says, checking for some much needed escape from work. Hi everyone. Hey, what's going on, J Mike? Hope you're doing well. We have confirmed though that listening to these and participating in these live streams from work will ensure that you maintain gainful employment. So you're in the right place. JC said, I like your 11-second stretching segment at the end of the video a couple of days ago. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I just did it in like super fast motion, but that's what I've been doing after every run. Not really. Hank Aaron says yoga is dangerous. I always thought it was good for runners, but I mean, maybe it is. Sean Marshall says, my wife and I do yoga together because she's sort of an instructor, at least casually, and I find it very helpful for mobility, especially on the weekend or off days. Yeah, see, I wish I had that. But yeah, I mean, that, I think also relationship wise, I think that's great. But also to have someone that could like be like, no, you're doing that wrong. Like lean forward more, or like you stop. Like, I need someone to be like, what are you doing? Why is your knee like that? Stop that. And then I'll be, oh, okay. And then I'll be like, oh, now I feel it. Like, I feel like there's like a tweak here and there that I need, and then I'll enjoy it more. But I think even then, like, my brain is just not in a space to enjoy yoga right now. I don't know. Shannon says, Vinyasa flow is constant movement, and you're using muscles and getting HR up. Don't get bored. I'm with you on avoiding it. Okay. Maybe I have to look at that. Because I've been doing the yoga with Adrian as well. I've been doing that, not that regularly, because I'm not finding that I enjoy it. And I just feel like, I spend enough time looking at my devices and stuff. So I'm like, I need to engage with family and people more. But I feel like if it's something that's more movement, I don't need to be like jumping around and flailing. I don't want like jazzercise. But I just think that some of the holding and the breathing, it's most likely the problem is me for sure. But I think I need like an intermediate from like my level of just like constant barrage of like mental noise to yoga. There needs to be something in the middle to get me there. Rainrunner says, yoga is chronically on my list of things to do, and doing it via video isn't as appealing as an in-person class, but maybe I should just start an easy virtual practice. I mean, that's what I was trying. I mean, I was thinking that I would do that back in April, but like, it hasn't really worked out for me. J. Mike Remy says, saw the navigation video on the bike. Bike computer is the way to go while cycling. Yeah, I thought about that too, but then I was like, that's more like I don't know that I'll be doing it frequently enough to really need like that. We'll see. But I mean, yeah, I do like I'm trying to keep the bike really simple and not overthink it and just try to enjoy it as much as I can. Because right now the way I'm enjoying it is like mostly I just ride my bike with my kids, and that's pretty fun. And then last weekend the whole family rode, so that was pretty awesome. So I'm liking it that way. And the main reason I did the entire like a bike as a workout that day was because my knee was bothering me again. So I thought I would give my knee like a day off from running and do the bike, and that it helped a little bit, I think. So we'll see. Recycle on Wednesday says, I love the term crisscross applesauce. I didn't hear it until I was an adult. I don't know when it changed over either, but I think that like the way that I grew up hearing it probably doesn't fly anymore. That's probably why. Trinday says, which watch for running you got right now, or which one do you prefer? I'm wearing two. I'm wearing the Grit X and the Coros Apex. I prefer the Grit X. I like it. I mean, it's way more expensive than the Coros Apex. I think the Coros Apex is probably a better value, and for what I need. But I prefer the Grit right now. But I think after all the navigation problems that I have, I think once I'm kind of done with my testing of the Coros, which I think I'll probably wear it for another couple weeks, or until the battery, I haven't had to charge it yet. And I'll wait for the battery I'll run it until the battery dies, and then do like a full review of it. And then I think I'm going to pick up another Garmin. I might get a Phoenix, because I've been meaning to do that, and that everyone talks about how great the maps are. So at Pikes Peak, there is a route that's like about 3.5 miles out, and I think if I loop it around right, I can make it like close to 4 miles out, so I could have like an 8-mile out and back. And I feel like if I can go out and do that twice, that'd be pretty fun. But even though the trails there are extremely well marked, I feel like I might get lost. So I think that might be a good time to like try something with a different kind of map on it. So I might try it. Maybe that's when I'll get the Garmin. So we'll see. Daniel M says, I do yoga all the time. Where'd it go? As soon as I start reading, it jumps down. Oh, I'm real far behind because that's gone. Really gone. Sorry. Oh, Daniel M says, I do yoga all the time. I think it helps me recover faster. See, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for recovering faster, and also like in relation to like my knee, I just think that like I need to strengthen everything that's going on in my hips and in my knee area. And so like yoga for stretching, mobility, I think that I don't think that's necessarily that certain muscles are weak. I think that like from repetitive use, my muscles, it's not like I equate it mentally. I know physiologically it's a little bit different than that, but like mentally I equate it to like kind of scar tissue. Like if you like keep just doing one type of exercise all the time, your body will only want to be able to do like one thing, even to its own detriment after a while. So like I just want to like kind of get loosened up a little bit and keep things, balanced a little bit more. Ilya Kim says, speaking of unemployment, didn't get an internship I was hoping for. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm sure you'll find something soon, I hope. So just keep hang in there. Let's see. KCA says, literally doing yoga poses right now. Love the pigeon pose for the hips. Oh, I like that one too. That one's fun. I really feel like that feels great. I like that one. There's not enough of that. Whenever I do yoga, I'm like, we need more of that one. So maybe I need to just sit down and figure out which ones I like. Because I figured out a leg strength routine that I like. So maybe I just need to figure out like a small set of positions that I like. So. And Kevin Ankram's here participating from work as well while he's pivot tabling some Excel data. Awesome. Thanks for keeping me awake. Well, if it can make pivot tabling more entertaining, I think that's awesome. And his Dumber says, I used to do Tai Chi, great for movement, balance, and very relaxing. So yeah, see, that's something where I would love to be able to learn how to do that from someone else. I've tried learning how to do that, watching videos of it. It always feels like I'm doing it wrong. But here's my vision that I've always had of Tai Chi is I'd love to be able to live in a place where I get up in the morning, run, and by sunrise get to some place near water and do some Tai Chi on a rock or on an outcropping, something near the water, and I could see the reflection of the sun and the light and the water, and then run some more back. That's kind of has been this idea I've had in my mind. And whether that's Tai Chi or some sort of a yoga flow or some other sort of just exercise routine, I just think that would be a great way to wake up in the morning. Daniel M says, Black Swan out of Texas gives you a free week of video classes if anyone is interested. That was my in-person studio before the end of the world started. Okay. Black Swan. Cool. MC1796, good to see you, says, really enjoy the pace of these live streams at this time of day. I use Seth's videos in the morning to wake up and this to relax. Awesome. I have been told many times, especially by my students, that I am very good at putting people to sleep. Either that or I have spurred on a lot of very strong shopping habits. That seems to be something else that students tend to do a lot of in my class. I mean, I say students, but they're adults, so they can do what they want. I'm not gonna stop you. If that's how you want to spend the time, that's fine. Yeah. Trey Good says, funny you mentioned Asheville, North Carolina. My wife and I grew up there before moving to Charleston, South Carolina. And thank you for clearing up which Carolina Asheville is. And as a reminder, she's the one who pooped in the woods and wiped it with my shirt. Awesome, Trey. Awesome. So that's great. That's great. Oh man, so many connections. See this whole string theory thing, all these vibrations bouncing against each other. It keeps coming back. That's amazing. Sean Marshall says, lateral movement is not something I got a lot of in running, so it's nice to do some stretching and mobility to get you out of a linear for moving muscle tendency. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. That says it much more succinctly and scientifically than I thought, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to make sure I do. Corey Allen says 80% of my runs are with the stroller, so enjoy all of you new or upcoming dads. To the rest of us pushing the stroller, keep her moving. I have the jogging stroller, but neither of my kids particularly enjoyed it. The only time they enjoy it is when we're walking somewhere and I pretend it's a race car and I'll just drive it around real fast because it's got giant wheels and it can handle turns real well. So that they like that, but then it's we were walking to their grocery store and they're like, Daddy, run as fast as you can. And I'm like, I just ran 12 miles. I'm not about to push the stroller as fast as I can to get to the grocery store. I'm wearing flip-flops, by the way. So I was that's kind of how it always ended up happening. But when I would try to put them in the stroller, they would be like, stop. And I'd be like, what's wrong? I want to walk for a little bit. And so so that's what would happen in the middle of it. Or it would, because it would always be so early in the morning, I would either have to wake up a baby to put it in the stroller and it'd be cold by the lake, that kind of thing. So it would never worked out for me. I really wanted it to, because I was like, oh, this is my hill work. I'm going to get my leg strength by pushing this stroller and get hill strength strong, even though Chicago doesn't have hills. I'm envious of people that can run with their kids in strollers. Let's see. Not really. Hank Aaron says there's no cornfields in yoga studios. I've heard a common thing that happens in yoga studios is people farting, because you're relaxed / straining your body in ways it's not used to being squeezed, I guess. And so I've heard that that's a common thing. I can't say that I farted any more than I usually do during exercise, when I'm done yoga. Because I think I fart a lot when I run. My daughter knows that really well because before I got a bike, I would run by her as she would ride the bike. And, when you run, you fart. And my daughter would just be like, Daddy, you're farting. And I'm like, I know this. You don't have to tell me. And I'm like, are you okay with that? She's like, it's fine, but you're farting a lot. All right. MZ1796 says, a guy ran a 26-minute 5K at my local race pushing a stroller with two kids in it. That's a hard flex. Yeah, most races don't let you bring the stroller in it. That's the other thing that I would have liked to have done at some point is when, I guess the 4-year-old still could be in there, but she's pretty heavy now. And so, I would have loved to have, run a race. I would have loved to have run a race with the kids in the stroller. But most of the ones that I'm around, I specifically say, rollerblades, pets, and strollers are prohibited. So I think it's only a matter of time before they start saying selfie sticks are also prohibited. Rain Hunter says, LOL, yes, that happened. I think we're talking about farting in yoga. That happened at a yoga class I was in. The woman next to me, I was so embarrassed for her, I wanted to run away. Yeah, I feel like we should all embrace that, though. It's natural. You're moving in ways that there's not normal, or not every day. That's why you're at the yoga studio. So it's that's cool. That's fine. Just do it. And if you gotta go, they got bathrooms, so you don't need the corn. Someone said there's no cornfields in the yoga studio, but that's fine. There's bathrooms. Kevin Kwan says, I pass 6 public toilets on my route, so no issues with cornfields. That's someone that would have an issue with cornfields or would need to use cornfields because they've counted how many public toilets there are on the way. I would probably have that counted along the way too. All right, let's see. Someone was saying something about Vivo or barefoot shoes. Where did that one go? I'll see if I can find it. In the meantime, Colin Baker says, I ran a 5K race last year and got passed by a dude pushing a stroller around the halfway point. I think he finished low 19s. Turned out he was a pretty accomplished ultra runner. Yeah. Running a sub 25K with a stroller is pretty intense, I would say. I wonder, at what point, does the, because, that's why they have jogging strollers, right? Because, a regular stroller, the wheels would start getting all, squirrely on you after you got to a certain speed. I wonder at what speed. But I guess, the one that I have, it's a bob, and you lock the front wheel in when you're in running mode. And so, that thing is just, super stable. And the wheels are wide, and the wheels are really big. So it's, I don't know. I think I'd have to be going super fast to get that one to get unstable. I don't think I could run fast enough to make it unstable. But we'll see. Chris Yao says, my first half marathon, I was beaten by a guy who dribbled 2 basketballs for the entire 13.1. That's amazing. My first marathon, I got beaten by a guy in a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup costume. By a lot. And also by my dad, who was literally twice my age at the time. Steven76, is corn seasonal? Yes, corn is seasonal. It's almost time for it to come in. The sweet, my daughter was asking me about it today. The sweet corn is done. So the corn that humans can eat, the good stuff, right now is gone, at least in Iowa. So that's pretty much all been picked. Yeah, picked. And so that's gone. But the regular corn that gets used for all the other infinite variety of things that corn gets used for is still up. So that hasn't been kind of harvested yet. So that's coming. But yeah, it's seasonal. There's nothing in the cornfields in the wintertime. Let's see. Let's do a couple more, and then I gotta get going for today. The girls, they're so not tired that they're Dad, you know what we haven't done in a long time? We haven't played freeze tag. So I was like, I know we haven't. I know it's been a bit. They're like, you know what we should do later today? And I was like, what? We should totally play freeze tag. And I was like, oh, what a great idea. So that's what I have in my future. Oh, man. Yeah. Let's see. Chris Dyke says, if I run a route where I know there's a washroom, it makes me think about it more and likely need to stop when I otherwise would not. You know, I used to think that too. And then I used to just try to be like mind over matter. And I was like, you know, if this bathroom wasn't coming up, I wouldn't even need to go. So I'm just going to go. And it always ends up being a poor decision. So, you know. Yeah. Corey Allen says, I threw down 2 640 miles with the stroller just to pass the girls' cross-country team and show them what up when a 42-year-old is hauling. Oh, what a victory. That is amazing. That is so cool. I think I could do 2 640 miles, but with a stroller, I guess it would depend on the terrain, but that would be super fun. That would be super fun to do. And I think the funnier part about that is like, yeah, I was racing real hard. I had the kid in the stroller. I want to show the cross-country team what's up. I mean, the girls' cross-country team, but yeah, I wanted to show them up. I think there's like a funny, like, interesting gender dynamic going on there. That's funny. But yeah, when a 42-year-old is hauling. Like, the other day, I was running down one of my, like, my regular routes, and there were like 6 children standing outside. I think they were waiting for a bus to pick them up. And they were all just kind of like staring at me running. And I felt like I probably should just run faster because I'm running like low heart rate right now. And it just looks like I'm a guy. Like, I feel like sometimes when I'm running out there, I'm running at a pace where people are like, oh, that guy's car must have broke down and now he's late for work. So he's running to the gas station. Like, I feel like sometimes people think that's what it is. But I'm like, no, I'm a runner. I'm running. This is my workout. I'm fine. Don't worry. So sometimes I think about that. There was one time I was running. I forget what. It might have been in Springfield. I was traveling for work somewhere. And now, was this in Virginia? Was this in West Virginia? I forget where I was. But I was running at a park on a work trip one day, so it was like in the afternoon. I had a minute where I could escape from the rest of the team, and I went for a run, and I was in a park, and I found myself like accidentally along like what was clearly a junior high school like cross country meet, because the kids were tiny, and I was just like, why are these babies running along this route? And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, oh, this must be like a junior high school cross country meet, or maybe like freshmen and sophomores, maybe like JV cross country. Is there such thing as JV cross country? But or something like that, because like none of the kids were that fast, but I felt like I was really tough because I was able to beat these like 11-year-olds. I was like, yeah, I'm a good runner. Yeah. Although I feel like a lot of 11-year-olds could probably beat me depending on the distance. So anyway. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. We got on the topic of poop again, but, you know, that's where it goes. But I felt like we had some good moments there. We're talking about parenting and the joys of fatherhood and stuff like that. So, you know, a little, you know, balance. It's all about balance, like we were talking about with the yoga, you know. So there we go. All right, we'll have another video tomorrow morning and then another live stream. Tomorrow's going to be Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Thursday, so it'll be happy hour. Can't wait for that. So in the meantime, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, everybody.